Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are going to get started. I'm super excited today to share with you one of my all-time passions, how to eat right for your body type. So I'm just going to share my screen and we will jump into this live webinar. Thanks for everyone for joining or watching the replay, and we will get started. All right. So today we are talking about easy weight loss with your personalized body type plan. And welcome, my name is Sue-Ann Hickey. In case we haven't met before, I am a naturopath based just west of Montreal. And nutrition, healthy eating, healthy lifestyle has been a passion of mine for over 15 years or more. I will tell you a little bit about my story as we go along, but let's jump into eating right for your body type. You can see the 4 body types here, and we're going to go into detail about each one. My goal for you on this class today is that you can figure out what body type you are and hopefully get some insights about how to eat right for your body type and learn how beneficial it can be for you to feel better, to drop the pounds you want to, and obtain optimal health and tons of energy. So here's what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be talking about what's keeping you from losing the weight you want to. We're also going to be diving into how to never deprive yourself while you're wanting to lose weight, all about the body type system, how to attain, and more importantly, maintain your ideal weight. So this is for you if maybe you've never weighed this much before. You're at your highest weight you've ever been. That's often the case for many of my clients. Maybe you find that loneliness, boredom, or stress has you spiraling out of control and grabbing sweets and other unhealthy snacks. You might be feeling really discouraged and trying to fit into your clothes. And you've started and stopped many diets and tend to blame yourself when they don't work. And maybe you spend far too much time second guessing the right way to eat because there is so much noise out there, right? There is so much conflicting information that keep us stuck. We don't know what to eat anymore. So does this sound like you? Maybe you've tried exercising and moving your body and still the weight doesn't come off. You're busy as hell. And when these people just tell you, oh, like spend, a full day prepping your meals, you're like, I cannot do that. I don't have the time. I need an easier fix. Maybe you've been struggling for a long time to lose that last 10 or 20 or plus more pounds. And you find it so hard to stop the late night snacking. Maybe it seems like you've tried every diet and you're desperate because nothing works. And you might think that maybe emotional eating might be part of what's in play. So today we're going to learn exactly why your body might be holding on to the weight and give you a step-by-step roadmap. I'm going to teach you the shifts that you need to make, how to cut out those unhealthy snacks and overcome the late night eating, and how to balance your glands from the inside out for easier weight loss. Now, a little bit about me. Nutrition, healthy eating has been my passion since 1990. That was when I first started practicing yoga and everything changed, right? I started learning about meditation and healthy eating and changed my diet and started healing myself emotionally and physically. So for the most part, I grew up following a fairly healthy lifestyle. That's me on the left in my little bunny costume that my mom sewed for me. Was downhill skiing the last week of lessons, and we had like a costume party. So I was pretty young. The ski poles are taller than I am, but I'm happy that I feel fortunate that our family followed a pretty healthy lifestyle. You can see the 5 kids in the car, way long time ago, old station wagon. I'm dating myself. That's me in the middle. I'm the youngest of 5, so a lot of action, a lot of playing outside. And then, a lot of challenging things going on as well back in the day with my dad had left and came back numerous times. There's a lot of sadness and pain. So I ended up partying a lot through before university and during university when I was getting my degree. And this is a picture of me below in the sorority. So, yes, there was a lot of drinking, and I didn't really realize it at the time, but that was my way to numb, right? I had still a lot of anger and sadness inside of me, which I had no clue was there, but I was using alcohol and pot back in the day to numb those feelings. Some of us use like many different methods to not feel our feelings, right? It could be overeating, could be over drinking, could be over shopping, or all the things. And so it took me a long time to heal all those emotional wounds and move forward, and finally met the man of my dreams 5 years ago. So that's us on the left. Never been happier, but yes, it was a long haul to heal everything that was going on inside of me. So after my first yoga class, I started getting really into yoga. I loved it right away. And I ended up going around the world on a spiritual journey. This is in India. My first stop was Southern India, where I did a month-long yoga teachers training course. And that also was very transformational. And I went to ashrams in India. I went to monasteries in Nepal, learning all about meditation and all kinds of things. So it was like eat, pray, love Canadian style, right? This is in Nepal. I learned so much. And at the time, I taught yoga after for 24 years. Just loved teaching yoga, but I wanted to take it a step further. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to help people more. And at that time, I was vegetarian. And I do believe that a plant based diet is the healthiest diet that we can eat, that it's better for the planet, better for us. For myself, it was challenging to get enough protein. So we have to be really vigilant and careful to get enough protein, but I was vegetarian at the time. And it was only when I started taking my classes to be a naturopath that I finally learned what I needed to do. I learned about the first thing we learned was eating right for my body type. And so before, where I was so much weaker, my energy was up and down. I would yawn half an hour for like the whole afternoon. I would yawn nonstop. In the morning, I was up and down. I was hungry all day and I was reaching for snacks all day long, never satisfied. I would crash before lunch and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I thought that was the way it was going to be. I remember my complexion was as white as a ghost. My body was overly acidic, like all the things. And then the first thing we started to learn about in our classes was how to eat right for our body type. And I was super stubborn. I'm like, no, there's no way. My teacher was saying that I needed more protein, that I should start incorporating like more eggs and chicken. I was like, no way. I'm a yoga teacher. Not going to happen. Super stubborn. But more the weeks went on, more I saw all the students around me like getting stronger and having more energy and dropping the pounds they wanted to because they were eating right for their body type. I'm like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. I'll give it a try. And so I did, and I started learning how to eat right for my body type. It completely transformed my health. I never felt better. And I started learning how to teach my clients how to do the same when I had my practice. So this is Cindy, who was running half marathons and not able to drop the pounds. She contacted me. We worked together for 12 weeks. She thought she wanted to lose about 10 pounds or so. She ended up losing 28. And she looks amazing, looks even younger, and has maintained it. This is Paula from Ohio, another client, and she said, I don't cook. She found it too hard, but she started cooking. She started going back to the gym. She was able to reduce her diabetic and blood pressure medication with the help of her doctor. And she said that the program saved her life. Now, I think that we are as unique as our fingerprint, right? Each one of us have totally different places where we gain weight in the body, where we, different cravings, we have different personalities, we have different energy levels. Some people are morning types, some people are night owls. Everyone is different. So I think your healthy eating plan should be completely unique to you as well. I think the problem is there's just, as I mentioned before, way too much information. Every day you go online and they're telling you, like, this is good for you. And then the next day it's like, no, it's bad for you. Or people are arguing right on social media. It's crazy. So I'm here to cut through all the confusion and help you learn how to eat right for your body type and cut through the confusion about healthy eating as well. Because it is really hard to know what is right to do. So, the road to success, as I say, is not a straight line. There's many curves in it. So let's cut through some of the confusion. So number one, the biggest mistake that so many people make because of keto, because of all different kinds of things, they think that they have to completely avoid carbs to lose weight, which is wrong. Okay, you do not have to avoid carbs. You can have carbs, eat them too, and drop the pounds you want to. I do, and all my clients do as well. It's always about the kind of carbs that you're eating. So we have great, good quality carbs, such as brown rice, quinoa. Imagine quinoa is a tiny little seed. So a seed has to grow a whole plant, right? So all of our seeds are powerhouses of nutrients. They pack a real nutrient punch. And quinoa is one of the grains that's highest in protein. It's also high in good, healthy fats and vitamins. It is so beneficial for us. Potatoes are perfectly fine as long as they're not piled high with butter and sour cream and cheese. Sweet potatoes are excellent, high in beta carotene. Buckwheat is one that we don't think of very often. It absorbs all the nutrients from the soil, so it's really nutrient rich. Barley is also great. We can have rye, and there is also kamut and spelt if you can find them. I know most of my clients around Montreal are able to find kamut and spelt bread. And if you can't find that, I know a lot of my clients in the US struggle, or people across Canada in smaller towns. But if you can find kamut and spelt, it's way more nutrient dense than wheat. If not, you can go for rye or any of the other good carbs mentioned above. So the thing with wheat is, like, what's wrong with wheat? People ask. Well, wheat has been hybridized, manipulated, transformed. Most of my clients, they feel like they're very bloated when they eat wheat, and when they replace it, they feel so much better. The bloating goes down. The thing also about good carbs is that they're very full of B vitamins. The B vitamins nourish our nervous system and keep us calm. I don't know about you, but I could use a little bit more nutrients that are calming in my life. The thing also is that a very little goes a long way. So you don't need a lot. Half a cup is enough. So, for brown rice instead of white rice, brown rice has all the outer layer still intact. It's not polished. So therefore, you're getting more fiber, all the nutrients, and this will guaranteed keep you satisfied a long time. That is key. Remember at the beginning, we were talking about how do I get over late night snacking or unhealthy snacking in between the meals? If you try this one thing, adding in some of these good quality carbs, you will find that you're more satisfied longer in between the meals. And that is key, because you won't be as hungry and looking for the unhealthy snacks in between meals or at nighttime. So the number two thing that you want to make sure you do is never deprive yourself, right? How many of us have tried a diet, knuckle down, I'm going to give up all my favorite foods, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to eat salads every day? How long can that last? Not very long, right? And by the time we're done, we're like, I just want to eat all the things because I've been depriving myself for so long. So the main thing that I encourage my clients to do is to have what I call your deviations. I don't like the word cheats because it has such a negative connotation. I encourage them to have a few deviations each week. Life is going to happen, right? There will be parties, you will be on vacation, there will be get togethers, birthdays, Christmas, whatever holidays you celebrate, all the things. So you have your deviations and then you get right back on track the very next day. Whereas in the past, what might have happened was you have your deviations, then you get into the spiral of, oh my God, I can't do this. Look what I've done, beating yourself up. And the next day, staying off track and telling yourself you can't do it, right? So instead of that, you have your deviations, you enjoy them, you savor them, you do not feel guilty, and then you get back on track the next meal or the very next day and keep on going. That will also help you maintain your plan long term. So here's what we're aiming for. Obviously, we're not living in an ideal world, but when you can, you're trying to have half your plate with lots and lots of vegetables. You have your protein, so that could be for those of you that eat chicken or fish, or a vegetarian protein might be chickpeas or lentils or black beans. You could have an egg for protein. You can have things like tofu or whatever you like for your protein. And then you have your half a cup of good carbs. Once you start trying to incorporate this at lunch and dinner, you will find it's a game changer, because I see this all the time when people start working with me. At lunch, they're just grabbing something light and fast, like a salad or a wrap or something like a little soup. And then they're hungry 2 hours later, they start snacking. By the time they get to dinner, they're way overly hungry. They overeat at dinner and they're still hungry at night. So give this a try. Let me know how it goes. It absolutely works amazing. So you can lose weight and never feel hungry. I find it so much fun when my clients tell me, I don't feel hungry, because every time they've tried to lose weight before, they did feel hungry and now they're okay. People that work with me, I give them my cookbook, either digital or hard copy, and in it is the best ever protein power bars. These are power bars that you can make, and they are so delicious. I've literally given this recipe to hundreds and hundreds of people, and everyone raves about them. So there's lots of snacks that you can have as well. So number 3 main thing to do is all about eating right for your body type. So let's jump in here and see a little bit how this works. So you cannot tell a person's body type only by looking at these pictures and only by looking at the shape of a person's body, because you can be misled. So yes, there are some generalities, like the adrenal type on the left, that is also known more as the apple shape, right? So generally they have broad shoulders, a large chest, they can have smaller legs for some of them. Their weight can be more in the belly. Sometimes they might have a little bit of extra fat on the back, but it's a little bit more upper body where the weight is. Pituitary, to make it easy for you, there are very, very few pituitary types at all. I've rarely seen them in my practice. More Asian people are pituitary and more men. So the pituitary tends to gain weight a little bit all over the body. It's like soft baby fat. But wait, you have to think back of when you first started gaining weight. Did you gain weight more upper body or lower body? So if you have weight a little bit all over, go back to when you first started gaining weight to see what body type you might be, because it's almost 95, 99% sure that you're not pituitary type. So could be either often adrenal or gonad. So next is thyroid type. They tend to be taller and slimmer, and they tend to have a spare tire around their waist if they gain weight. They are usually with very small, long limbs. So not often do they have a lot of weight to lose, but yeah, if they gain weight, it's usually a little bit around the middle. And then finally on the right is the gonad type. And they are generally known as our pear-shaped. So they generally gain weight a little bit more lower body. They have a smaller chest. And so that's the 4 different body types. Now let's go into a little bit more detail. So for me, the plan, eating right for my body type, was the single most important thing that I ever did in my life to completely transform my health and my life. As I was mentioning in the beginning, with the cycling pictures, I went from being one of the slowest women in the entire club of 450 members to one of the fastest women. My energy and strength just skyrocketed, and I felt so much more balanced. So I never look back. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. I'm eating this way for the rest of my life. So things and questions to ask yourself: are you a morning person or a night owl? Generally, the thyroid and pituitary types jump out of bed, have tons of energy, while the gonad or adrenal type are usually a little slow to get going, prefer to take their time, have their coffee. They might have lots of energy in the morning and say, yeah, I'm a really morning person. But given the chance, like on the weekend, do you prefer just to just take it a little slowly, have your coffee, have your little time to get going slowly? So that could indicate that you're more adrenal or gonad. Now, the cravings, sometimes the gonad or adrenal will crave more salty. However, some people crave sweet as well. It all depends. Cravings can be so many different things that I hear when I ask my clients about their cravings. So we'll go a little further, and hopefully each thing that we talk about, you'll be able to figure out your body type, and you can take some notes and write down some of the suggestions that I'm going to give you. So the thing is, when you eat right for your body type, you will absolutely lose the pounds and maintain a healthy weight and optimal health as well, because that's what it's all about. Is it not about getting a healthy body, being healthy for as long as we live, and enjoying that healthy body as we age? That's my goal. Now, for the men, there are only 3 body types. For the woman, there are 4, because the gonad type, which has to do with the ovaries, is for the woman only. That's, as I said, the gonad is a pear-shaped. So for the men, you have adrenal. You can see really broad chest, big shoulders, pituitary type in the middle, and thyroid type with the little spare tire around the middle. Now, a question to ask yourself before starting the body type plan is if you have hypoglycemia, and you need to balance that first. So the question to ask is, how do you feel if a meal is delayed? If you answered, I feel dizzy, I'm shaky, I get a headache, I can't think straight, I feel like I'm going to pass out, that can indicate that you might have hypoglycemia if a meal goes too long. So number one thing is to balance that out first. And the way you do that is eating protein, protein, protein. Protein for breakfast, protein for lunch, protein for dinner, protein snacks. We absolutely need to have you balance out your blood sugar, and then you transition into eating right for your body type after that is done. So let's start with the adrenal type. As I said, tend to have a large, strong upper body. Think Oprah, tall, strong, super determined. Look how far, these people and adrenal types, once they harness their determination, there is no stopping them. They are very set in their ways. They are very hardworking. They can be the life of the party. They can be the sociable one. The guy in the red t-shirt would be like the adrenal type, out there enjoying his beer with friends. Sometimes the life of the party. Yes, there are always exceptions to the rules. So there are some introverted adrenal types, but generally they are strong and determined and hardworking. As I said, their cravings revolve around wine, fatty foods, salty foods, meat. If they are not vegetarian, they like their meat, their cold cuts. And they will often say, I just love food, right? And they do love food. And so for them, portion control can be very challenging. They're the strongest of all body types. They might be a little slow to get going in the morning, but once they get going, there is no stopping them, right? They can say they're tired and they keep on going. So this is Richard. He lost about 25 pounds. You can see the belly just about disappeared after working with me. Whoops. And so, yes, when you eat right for your body type, you will lose the weight where you most want to. And for the adrenal type, some tips of what you need to do. So, number one is to be aware of portion control, especially at dinner. Number two is that you don't need a big breakfast. A small light breakfast is perfect for you. Some or many adrenal types say you're going out to brunch and you have bacon and eggs and hash browns and toast. That can actually trigger you to be hungrier all day long because your breakfast is too big. And even though you ate more, you can trigger yourself to be hungrier all day long. So having a small light breakfast, such as a smoothie or maybe some Greek yogurt with fruit, is perfect for you. A medium to lunch, dinner is the main meal of the day, as that is when your metabolism is highest, and that is when you're going to burn it off most easily. So that goes completely against the old adage, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, dinner like a pauper. The opposite is true for you, and that will be the key to your success. The next most important thing for the adrenal body type is they really tend to internalize their stress, right? They may have this calm exterior, but there's this gnawing stress going on inside, and you absolutely need to find all the ways to better manage your stress, because if you're in this acute high state of stress for long times and long periods, the body will hold on to the weight for protection. So that's key things for all my adrenal types. All right, so next, the thyroid type, as I mentioned, gains weight a little around the middle, tend to be tall and slim. So the thyroid type, they're sentimental, they can be nervous. I'm a thyroid type, I can have this nervous energy, I have to be careful. We are enterprising, we're usually eloquent, writers, speakers, things like that. But we really need to learn also how to better manage our digestive system and our nervous system, and the two go hand in hand. Now, before I started eating right for my body type, I was on this hypoglycemic roller coaster, right? Up and down energy all day long. And that also wreaks havoc on your moods, right? My moods were in this roller coaster as well. So when I started eating right for my body type, I felt so much more balanced, and that was a game changer for me. So the thyroid type tends to like stimulants, sweets, carbs, chocolates. And by stimulants, I mean things like coffee to spike themselves up, or tea, or sugar, or soft drinks, and things like that. So the key for the thyroid type is that they need more protein, especially at breakfast. So I used to always eat cereal for breakfast. No one was going to take away my cereal. It was my favorite thing. What could be better than starting the day off with sugar, even if it was a so-called healthy cereal? And I'd be hungry an hour later. And so I'd eat some bread, and up and down, up and down. So when I switched my breakfast for way more protein, such as 2 eggs or Greek yogurt, and adding in chia seeds and all kinds of things to increase the protein, that was what was such a huge benefit for me and my body type to keep me more balanced. More protein at lunch, dinner, protein snacks was super, super helpful. Now, moving on to the gonad type, you tend to gain weight more in the lower body. So if you're trying to figure out what body type you are, you can take your measurements, right? Take it on the chest, the waist, the hips. Generally, for my gonad types, when the hips are larger than the chest, or the hips are the largest measurement on the body, that really indicates that they are gonad type. If you're hesitating between adrenal or gonad, or not sure, do that. The other question that's key to ask for gonad types is, do you have cellulite? And if yes, since when? When I ask that question, most of my gonad type clients will say, since I was a teenager, or forever, or I've always had cellulite. That is another key indication that you'd be a gonad type. The adrenal type would say, I don't have very much, or I just have a little bit of cellulite that I gained recently. So those are two key questions to ask when you're figuring out your body type. Now, the gonad type, the personality across the board, they are the loving, motherly, giving, caring types. 75% of all nurses are gonad types. All the helping professions, so such as psychologists, massage therapists, all kinds of therapists, people doing energy work, all kinds of things like that, often a gonad type. You just love taking care of others. And that's never going to change. And it's fine, it's perfect. That's the way you're wired. If you have kids, you might have a large family, or if you don't have kids, maybe you have pets that you love to take care of, or you're taking care of your aging parents, or you are taking care of your work and you're super, super devoted to your work. However, the main thing is, how can we help you not put yourself at the bottom of the list, right? We want you to take care of yourself at the same time, which is a challenge for many gonad types. So the best thing for you to do also, as your metabolism is kind of slow in the morning and it goes up during the day, a small light breakfast is perfect for you. Sometimes just one fruit and you'll be fine and you won't even be hungry till lunch. Medium to light lunch, and dinner is also the main meal of the day, but dinner is early around 5 p.m. because some of my gonad type clients, they get in, from work at 4:30 and they're like, I just start eating everything. I can't stop. Yes, that's right, because you work really well with a dinner that's early. Another key thing for the gonad type, if you've been struggling to lose weight, if you're pear-shaped, is a small light breakfast. So often my gonad types might say, I just love peanut butter on toast, but that's kind of really heavy and fatty for you in the morning. Or you're having your coffee with a whole lot of cream. Again, way too heavy for you. So lighten up your breakfast and watch how big a change you can have. This is Lesia. Lesia is a super busy mom with 4 kids, challenges with some of the kids, like a lot of things were going on in her life. So she just didn't have any time to exercise each week, checking in. No, didn't exercise this week, but she still dropped 36 pounds just by following her body type, and super happy to be able to do that while taking care of all of the things, being self-employed and having a busy family life as well. So finally, the pituitary type, we'll go through this quickly. As I said, there are very few pituitary types. The pituitary types are quiet thinking types with very high intellectual capacity, who live in their head. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I certainly can. I tend to have a very overly active mind. So there's like kind of what my mind looks like if you can see in Technicolor. The pituitary type love ice cream, dairy, creamy sauces. So that creates a lot of mucus in the body. Best thing for them is to, reduce the dairy. That will reduce the mucus, so they will have less irritation for their respiratory system. And they can get up at 5 o'clock in the morning or earlier. They're super morning types. They need big breakfast, medium to light lunch, and a small dinner. So as you see, everyone has a different plan. What happens when you eat right for your body type? Number one, energy skyrockets. Number two, your cravings go way down. Number three, you're not as hungry. Psychological changes, as I said, because you're nourishing your body and balancing your glands from the inside out, you feel so much better. You also can reduce and eliminate so many of your physical ailments because each of the body types is more prone to different ailments. And you will lose the weight where you most want to. I always have my clients doing their measurements, and we can see the gonad type losing inches off their hips, and the adrenal type losing inches off their belly and their chest. And across the board, all of my clients will check off all of these things that happen when they eat right for their body type. This is Claudia, another client who said, that she lost 19 pounds and 10 inches, but also completely eliminated her emotional eating. It felt natural and effortless, and she wishes she had started decades ago. This is Anna. She's a medical doctor in Spain. I have clients a little bit all around the world. And she lost 20 pounds and was super happy as a medical doctor to understand how the body type plan worked and how well it worked for her. This is Patty giving a little testimonial. I work with her. And what was your favorite part about the program?
I guess my favorite part was working with you, Sue-Ann. You were so supportive. You're so sincere. You really want to understand your client, and then you give the tools that are necessary to reach the goals. And because you know that you can show your client success, you really keep everybody on the right path. You've got all sorts of tools out there, and when clients are struggling, you give suggestions and show how to get those tools into your lifestyle. And sometimes it is changing an aspect like of my lifestyle. Not that I don't know how to do it, but you need that coaching and that consistency, and then that checking in, and having that each week's been extremely helpful.
Awesome. And how many pounds did you lose?
I have lost over 21 pounds. And I didn't know that I could lose that much weight. And I feel a lot better about myself.
Awesome. And I loved working with you. Congratulations. I'm going to miss you. Thanks, Patty.
Thank you. I'm going to miss you too.
Patty was a wonderful woman who she lives in Washington, and she was just struggling for so long, really wanting to lose that last 10 or 15 pounds, ended up losing 21, was thrilled to finally find something that worked 100% for her. All right, whoops, let's move forward. I think that our health is the most precious gift we have, right? If we don't have our health, whoops, we don't have much. So there is also not only the physical part of eating right for a body type, it's also overcoming the emotional eating for long-lasting transformation. So I had been working with my clients for a while, and I thought, great, eating right for your body type is the best plan ever. But wait, if I don't help my clients overcome their emotional eating and emotional triggers, they might resort back or revert back into their old patterns. So how can I help them? So I trained in what is called rapid transformational therapy, also known as RTT. So it's a really powerful modality to help you get into a super relaxed state. And then we go and see, where are these triggers coming from? Often we have no idea. Things that happen when we may be 8 or 12, someone said something, we were pushed in the playground, all kinds of things come up. My clients are always so surprised with what comes up. And I've had clients say, in 3 years of therapy, we never touched on this. Can you imagine how much money it costs for therapy, and that we can do the same things in 1 or 2 sessions of rapid transformational therapy? That's why it's called rapid. I'm super excited to be able to use this with my clients. It is so powerful. We do the whole process by Zoom. It works amazing. And then at the end of the session, I make you a personalized recording that you listen to every day for 3 weeks to instill those new positive thought patterns, new positive mindset, and really to instill that new positive way of thinking after releasing rather, and really eliminating that old past pattern and past triggers that were there. So I'm super excited to use this with my clients. So now you have 2 options. Either the first option, you can try to do it on your own again. You might get stuck where you normally do. It might take you a lot longer, struggling, maybe feeling frustrated, depriving yourself, sabotaging your results. Or the second option, you can take action and get the support you need, learning exactly all the things you need to know for eating right for your body type, as well as getting the accountability and really finally release what's been holding you back. So there are 2 ways of working with me. One is I have a membership. It only opens a few times a year. So right now it is closed. It will be opening again in the middle of April. So that's not that far away, about 5 weeks. I know that a lot of people are waiting to get in, and it is an amazing program where you really get the group support, the accountability. We have a wonderful group of women that support each other. This is the success tracking sheet, kind of a lot of information on one screen, but there's 7 different pillars that we look at. The pillars of health, as I call them: healthy eating, exercise, your thoughts, learning to hydrate better, lifestyle, environment, and vitamins and supplements. And you can look at this and kind of see, okay, where am I at on each of these 7 pillars? And what is my next step? And we will help you to keep on moving forward incrementally to attain and maintain your ideal health and goal for each of those 7 steps and 7 pillars. So when you join the membership, we always start, right now I'm still offering a one-on-one consultation to determine your body type. And then there's a 4-week intensive, everything you need to know about eating healthily. So you can cut through all that confusion finally, once and for all, ask all your questions and really start implementing a healthy eating plan for you. All these things, also finding what might be hindering your weight loss, whether it's digestive issues. As a naturopath, we can look at, is your liver working optimally? Are your hormones balanced? Is there emotional eating going on? How are you managing your stress? So it's way, way more than just eating and nutrition, right? You get the accountability and support. You have a group of motivated women. We have weekly Zoom calls where you can get all your questions answered. You can get personal coaching and all the materials. There's a lot of materials that I've gathered over with my 30 years of expertise. You have a manual, my cookbook, a food journal, and also overcoming all emotional triggers. So fast acting bonuses, we are, as I said, opening up in the middle of April. But if you email me and just give me your name, now I will make sure that you get these fast acting bonuses when you join up. So that is about the body typology membership, which I didn't write down the price here. It's $30 US per month. So, you can sign up for $30 and join in and see how it works for you. There's no strings attached. You can jump out at any time, but it is amazing, amazing way for you to get the support you need to jumpstart your weight loss and join a group of women for support. I also offer one-on-one coaching. So if you don't want to wait, you're like, no, I'm ready now. This makes so much sense. When you work with me one-on-one, we start with an hour and a half initial consultation to do a full evaluation. I send you a health history form. You fill that out and we go over all of that together. That is combined with 12 weekly Zoom sessions, which are an hour. When we do the RTT sessions, they are at least an hour and a half. So we do 2 of them in your package. Normally, my regular price is $1,997, but I am offering a bonus for those of you on the call or watching the replay, 15% off only until March 8th. So you can reach out. The link will be below when I send out the replay. Click on to the call to jump on a call with me to discover your body type and sign up. It is very rare that I offer any discount at all, and my one-on-one practice is just about completely full. So if you're interested, jump on a call now. Don't hesitate, because I will be closing my practice. I'm at my maximum just about, as I said. I'm not saying that to deter you, but it's true. There's only one of me and many clients. So that is also why I'm super excited to be offering the membership that I've been doing for almost a year now. It's pretty new, but people are loving it, and I'm super excited to keep that going. So final little messages. Often we think weight loss will go, we start here and we end up there, but there's always things that try and throw us off when we set our determination to do something, right? Universe will throw us curveballs, and there'll be rocks, and there'll be potholes, and there'll be fires to jump over, and all kinds of things, which is why having the accountability and support you need to help you get to where you want to go, and then you'll be easier able to maintain it for the rest of your life. So if you're asking yourself, why did you watch this webinar? Why are you here? Are you ready to completely change this part of your life forever, once and for all? Then join us or join me to create the guaranteed results that you're waiting for. And your next action step is to either jump on a call with me to work one-on-one, or send me a message and tell me that you'd like to join the membership. I will save your place for when the doors open in April. So thanks for watching, everybody. It's been my pleasure to be with you today, and I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I hope you learned a whole lot, and we will see you next time. Have a great day, and hope to see you on the inside. Bye, everyone.